Welcome back to the World Makers Consortium. I'm Wenzilla. I'm your co-host, and without further ado, let's bring in our host of the show, Mr. Rad
What's
Toys.
going on? That freak
What's up,
everybody
man?
out or what? They were like, "What is Wentzilla doing on there first? Like, what's going on?"
Welcome back to the Wenzilla reboot, and today we're gonna look at a custom.
Yeah, and everybody knows where they are. It's Friday night. We're doing WMC. This is episode 5. We made it this far.
Woo!
Later on, we'll talk about some stuff we've got coming up for episode 10, but I'm not going to leave him backstage too long. So he makes these awesome G.I. Joe creations, and I will let him tell you about them. Christopher George, thanks for being on
Hey!
tonight.
What's up, guys? Glad to be here, man.
Good deal. But I've seen you on Toy Domination before, obviously you're on Instagram, and your creations are awesome. Like,
Hey, thanks.
But just tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing if they're not familiar with you, anyways.
Okay, so during COVID, I was unable to buy plastic models, which I built plastic models for the last 25 years, military models. So I reverted back to working with cardboard like I did as a kid for, I built stuff for my G.I. Joes, my action figures. And first thing I did was I turned the hiss made a brand new hiss completely from scratch into a troop carrier. That turned out well. Then I redid the Mobat, the Cat 2 version. And then COVID was over, went back to work, did a YouTube channel, walked away from it, went back to build models, went back to my YouTube channel months later and found out I had a lot of views and people saying, "Hey, this is great. Give me some more." So
Nice,
I scratched models. And then from then on, I started creating my own G.I. Joe vehicles that they never did. I started doing, other than the Missile Command Center.
And that was, and the other thing too, you've got here's a picture, just a spread of what you've worked on. And man, when I saw that Terradrome, I was like, yeah, man, and it's close to the original, but I like how you kind of built out the proportions on the top to kind of make it, more like a tower.
It's that's a 2-story Terradrome with an entire hangar for it'll hold, I think, 4 fire bats. It's incredible. It's more than explained now, but it's monstrous. It made me never want to buy a Terradrome because I built a better one.
Exactly. And his tank too, I don't know if people can get the sense of that scale. But
when
you put the figures on it, it's it reminds me of that movie. Where's the one where they roll around the giant cities and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, the Peter Jackson movie. Yes, yeah.
Gosh, what's that called? What's it called?
It's the Mega Hiss, and I based that on a vehicle that the Germans are working on in World War II called the Rat, and it was called the Rat. It's deceptive because the Rat's so small, but the Rat was a massive, massive tank. It was 100,000 tons or 1,000 tons that had a battleship turret on it.
Yeah, I remember. I've actually watched a few of those documentaries on Amazon and stuff, and I'm familiar with that project. And that too. Yeah, it's exactly what it reminds me of. Also, but you've just got every vehicle you could possibly imagine. What's your are you creating things that they don't have, or
That's what it looks like? Yeah.
Are you drawing it from?
Nope. I don't.
It seems like you're scaling things up to the right size too.
Yeah.
Actual, it makes sense.
Well, the whole idea behind Christopher George 1987, I needed a name, and I chose 87 because 1987 is when G.I. Joe really lost it. By that point, I was too old for toys. I walked away from it. But looking back and seeing Cobra Law and all of that, and the Havoc and just the Cobra Pogo, I decided to do an alternate history where from 1987, Cobra Law never happened, and they kept a more of a realistic feel like the first, couple waves with the Wolverine, the Mobat, the Mauler. The Hiss is ridiculous, but I love the Hiss. The Rattler, the Sky Striker. So I'm building the world that the real fans didn't get.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I can relate to that too, where in my universe or whatever. I'm building like the Star Wars lore that I want.
Yeah.
Kind of where it went. That's really cool. I didn't actually realize that you were building like a world. So that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, and your lore too, do you have like, you obviously got, do you have any kind of real story? Like or is it just all kind of
no backstory. I'm a creator, not a writer. I'm on the fence with Serpentor. I think Serpentor is a really cool idea, but Serpentor took Cobra Commander and made him secondary, beyond secondary.
For me, Serpentor in the cartoon, especially, like I like that idea of taking all the DNA and putting it together. Mm-hmm. But his character was so over the top in the cartoon that it was like really difficult to take him seriously, like at all.
And I think, so many of us kids of the 80s, I'm 49. So G.I. Joe hit me right at the right time as a kid. And I grew up before it got stupid. But I think there's so many of us out there who, we grew up, we got careers, we got mortgages, we got married, we had kids, we got divorces, some of us. And then I think COVID made everybody reach back to look at their childhood, which I did, especially the toys that made us. That really made me look back at it. And just trying to revisit it.
Did you say the toys that made us? There's a Power Ranger episode where I'm in it for 0.5 seconds.
You are? Where you are? How did you do that?
I was at the Power Morphicon, the Power Ranger convention, and I was suit acting, cosplay with Boom Studios, and they happened to come up, and they were like, "You guys be in the video?" And we had to sign these waivers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm only in it for like 1 second. I'm doing like a heart thing or something. But I'm in a big black bull suit, a Sentai. It never was a Power Ranger, but it was hard to walk in, especially in Pasadena or LA, wherever we were. It was hot. My suit, hot. I felt like my suit was like melting out because I was pretty much the character that I was in Japan. He is he's a wrestler, like a bull wrestler, but he's also a robot. So I was like a robot bull. It was crazy. So there's a lot of gear, a lot of armor.
I'm jealous, man. I love those shows. I wish they'd do another one. I'd like to see something else, but I guess it's over. Oh,
the Sentai's still going, I think.
No. I meant the toys that made us.
Oh, yeah.
That was fascinating.
Josh. Nobody likes Power Rangers, dude.
No, everyone does.
Likes Power Rangers. I'm just saying I'd like to see another
Kamen Rider. You got Metal Heroes. You got Super Sentai. Anyway, so I was trying to get on the show. So I sent in like 15 minutes of like my collection at the time, which was through the entire house, our whole bedroom, everything was Power Rangers, but in cases and stuff. And they reached back to me and they're like, yeah, we'll let you know. And they never, I had to send them a bunch of emails because you can't just send a 15-minute video. I even posted a video on YouTube, and it might still be on the YouTube I have now. And I set it as private and sent them the link, so it was just for them to look at. And it wasn't really the route that they went. They went with like a lot of big names and stuff like that. And then when they were at that convention and they were going to tell us we're beyond, I was like, I still got on it, you mother. Yeah,
like MTV Real World.
You made it indirectly, but
it sounds like MTV Real World Power Rangers edition.
Power Rangers Real World. But before we go on too much further here, I'm gonna say hi to everybody that turned out in the chat. We got Pirates of the Galaxy.
Pirates.
What's up, Pirates?
Bjorn, it's awesome to see you out here. You're always here, man.
What's up, guys?
We appreciate it. Utah Dawn. And we got Lord of Thane. Apparently he's just on his way back from a concert and he's still awake. So he's in Germany. So here
I have
still awake from a concert.
I'm in Cincinnati, and it's Taylor Swift night. The town is shut down. They had to move a Reds game because of Taylor's, and the Reds are kicking ass apparently, but they had to move one because Taylor Swift is here.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming to the stream and not going to the Taylor Swift concert.
Well, it was hard. It was hard, but I got rid of my $4,000 tickets and I came to this.
But, we also got Jason Jensen Trains in here. This guy's awesome, man. He does some like killer stuff. All these guys do. Pirates of the Galaxy. He just started a YouTube channel, so everybody go over there and give him some love. Check out his IG. And High Zone's here. Hey, man, what's going on?
High Zone.
What's going on, man?
So, yeah, everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. And, yeah, we're going to have a good time. So, moving on, I saw this, and I think out of your land vehicles, this one was like my favorite. Oh, this is so good.
That's the Water Buffalo. G.I. Joe's. I didn't mean it to replace the, I don't know what the thing behind it's called. I don't remember the name of that thing.
Is it just called an APC or something?
The APC. I didn't mean to replace that. I not that I'd care to replace it. But when I build, if it's going to be a wheeled vehicle, I start with the wheels. If it's something, if it's something with flies, I start with the canopy, the seat. But this, I didn't even know it was going to be a half track until I started building it. And then as I started to build it, you know, I reference real vehicles, real world vehicles. And before that thing was done, I thought that was going to be my first loss. I was hating it as I was working on it. And then it turned out to be actually my most popular vehicle. And I like it a lot too.
I love the little, just the little greebles all over it. Like, you know, they got, you know,
I made all of that. I made the shovel, the sledgehammer. I even made that life preserver out of cardboard and drywall putty.
Really?
And string. Yeah, the backpacks I didn't make. Yeah. But everything else you see there, well, and that gun I may not have made, maybe a G.I. Joe. But everything else I made from scratch.
And your stuff looks to be like, when you think about it, I'm like, man, I don't know how that would hold up, but it seems to be very sturdy. Yeah. Totally. That's what drew me into, like, I was like, oh wow, because you had like the way it was set up, I was like, that's really good stuff.
Yeah, everything I build is completely solid. It's reinforced on the inside. The interior is made out of corrugated cardboard. Then I cover it with a smooth cardboard. Then I paint it. You know, those wheels and tracks actually move.
You said you go all black first. I remember hearing you say that.
Yeah, I do. Everything is primered black first. Now that's for my model. You know, building armored models for 25 years. You start with a black base because then that black will show through vaguely. But you know, as that I build everything on cardboard is, you know, it's a great medium. It's a great tool. It lets me build more quickly, cheaply, effectively. And you know, a lot of people get caught up on that's cardboard. That's so neat. Yeah, that's really cool. But that's actually not my angle. My angle is not what it's made of. Look what I came up with. You know.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Practical. It's practical.
It's amphibious.
It moves. So that's crazy. Yeah.
But I've got a question here in the chat. You said the turret moved. Do you commonly do little doors and stuff, or do you even?
A lot of times it depends. In the beginning, I definitely made everything work. I made all the hatches work. This one does. This one has working hatches, but not all the time anymore. I find there's not a real reason to make all the hatches and doors work. Because you know, really, I'm the only one that handles it. So depends. Yeah,
true. And then, but you know, and you're creating it, so you can put whatever you want into it. But there's another piece, and I did collect a lot of vintage G.I. Joe at one point, and this next picture I saw, and it just absolutely destroys the original. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
all.
Isn't that cool?
Like the missile and everything is all cardboard.
That thing, that lifts. that you know what? I'll walk upstairs and show you that. That actually raises and has hydraulics in it that pushes out. I don't know how to do it with one hand, but and a real fun thing about that, Ron Rudat designed that, and he's going to be at the show that I'm actually debuting all my crap at in Louisville next month, and I'm going to have him sign that rocket.
Oh man,
you need to record that.
Yeah, that will be my prized possession when that happens, and I get him to sign that rocket. But
what convention are you going to again?
It's Louisville. It's the 29th. I keep calling it Joe Fest, but it is a G.I. Joe convention. But Joe Fest is wrong. They'd kill me if they could hear this. I think it's the Kentucky, Indiana. I don't know, some bullshit name. But I'm debuting all my stuff. I got a table. I've actually, a friend of mine's reached out and told them about the Cobra Helicarrier. I'm going to bring that. They want me to show that.
Wow.
I'm not selling anything. I'm just trying to get, because I don't understand YouTube and Instagram. I'm a builder, but I want to be out there more.
But so do you use Utah Dawn? Kind of has another question here too about do you utilize magnets or anything in your builds yet?
Nope, no magnets.
It's all hinges and everything, eh?
Not even hinges. Well, hinges like that rocket lifts because I drilled holes into it and stuck in dowel rods, so it lifts. And
Cool.
I wish I was prepared. I'd have that thing down here and show you how it lifts and raises. But
you do show like step by step on your IG, and I think that's like super important. I don't do it much on my main page because it's more of a it's kind of like a gallery of all the stuff I've done over the millions of years. But the AMRAC spot, I like to show kind of like on the table, kind of the build process. Like my YouTube is all tutorials, and I love like seeing the step-by-step process. And for anyone who's out there who's like, oh, I don't want to put that stuff up, or it doesn't look good, it doesn't look clean, like that's part of the process that people want to see. Like I do anyway. That's not everybody, but I mean I do want to see that. Like I love that stuff, because that's how you know. Like, sorry, go ahead.
Well, YouTube, I have a lot of tutorials. I have a whole thing of tutorials, and actually tutorials, I get more views on that than any other damn thing. Like, how I build screens. That was a big one. And I'll just tell you how I build screens. All this stuff I figure out. I just figure it all out. Yeah. And I wanted a way to have like engine deck screens, and I couldn't think where the hell could I possibly get screens. So I went to Lowe's and bought a window screen, and cut it out, and I used that. And that was one of my biggest YouTube videos, is just cutting screens.
Yeah.
But I do.
You can buy a roll of that stuff too.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like that works good. The gutter guards for the house, for the gutters, those work pretty good for screens and fencing too. Like, yeah, tons of that stuff.
So are you, I haven't seen too many other accounts, but you are doing tutorials and stuff, and clearly they're popular. Is there anybody else kind of in this realm have you seen, or are you kind of, I think
that is doing, that's doing it, what I'm doing?
Straight up cardboard builds. Like this seems like almost something that,
I've never seen it.
No, you're like you're on the ground. You're like pioneering this kind of thing, and I don't know why more people don't do it. Like it's crazy. Like it's so good.
I'm getting a couple followers that sound like religious, but a couple people who converse with me. Converse with me, and they're starting to mess with cardboard. And I get a lot of use plastic. Well, I can use plastic. I can.
That's not what you're doing. You're making art from cardboard. You're a cardboard artist, bro.
Well, like, and again, back to I'm getting a lot of traction because I'm using cardboard. Yeah, and that's cool. I'll get traction however I can get. It's not my angle. That look, cardboard's so cool. It's look what I built. You look what this looks like. That is cardboard is cool.
See, I see it both, man. I would lean into the cardboard. Like like in my phone, you're cardboard Chris. So I mean, like I would lean into it, because when people are doing it, they're not doing it like that. You're doing it different. You're doing it. It's an art. It's way different than what people are doing. You're making your cardboard into toys. Like you're doing toy art. You're a toy artist. You're using cardboard to make the toy. It's still a toy, no matter if it's made out of plastic, wood. There's stuff that's resin. What's the difference between resin and cardboard or plastic or whatever? Like it doesn't matter what material you're using. It really doesn't. Like I use fabric in some stuff. Like
I will. There'll come a time I'll use fabric. There will. But I tell you what, anybody who's watching who is aspiring to do anything like this, the way I look at my builds is just me personally. I don't find a shape. Like, look, I found a circle, or whatnot, and build around this. I build what I want. I build the shape. I I build entirely what I want. Like I don't take a milk carton.
Different, yeah. I was gonna say I saw different pieces of like Rice Krispies, like.
Well, yeah, but that's boxes. That's the boxes.
Yeah.
But I cut them. That's my tools. And you see Rice Krispies because if you ever handle a cereal box, the interior is rough, the exterior is smooth. That's why the outside of my builds look so funny, because I need that smooth side of the cardboard to be.
But you're not against throwing in like a pop can or a monster can if you needed it for a certain.
I just don't. I just don't. I build the shape I want entirely. I'm not knocking scratch building at all. I'm not knocking it.
No, but you're able to do it from.
But I build the entire shape I want. Like if I need a certain size circle, I have a compass. I mean, every wheel that you see, I made out of with the compass. I'm not knocking scratch building, but everything I build is to my exact specs. I don't build around something.
Right.
So then you're building right to, like, you don't use templates, or do you have templates for, say, a HISS tank where you would army build that vehicle? Like, is that, or is just everything right off the top?
It would be hard to army build. I'm building 2 trucks at once right now, but that's me laying the 2. It's easier to build them at the same time. That's the first time I've done this, but I will lay some things out draftsman style. Actually, almost everything's draftsman style. I lay a lot of things out. A ruler and a pencil makes everything I make. Everything's done with that. Nothing's freehand.
And two, do you find too, is there kind of an engineering hump to get over, or is this actually?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Everything is engineered.
And
everything is engineered.
My main question would be, how approachable do you think this is for, like, say, somebody watching tonight or in a rerun? Like,
all right, what he's doing is like,
I'm not saying they're gonna be building at your level.
I was gonna say he's at like God mode. If you want to talk about cardboard build or whatever you want to call it, I still think it's toy art, man. Like it really is.
It is toy art. It's toy art.
Maybe just some tips for people that want to get into doing this cardboard build.
I mean, it's some, a lot of my stuff is laid out very well thought. I mean, I do sketch in 3D. But if you look at, I don't know if you saw my Cottonmouth, which is basically the Russian Hind helicopter. That's what it's based on entirely. That is a very rounded out, different size from back to front. It's in the floor.
Yep.
To the left.
So it's huge. That blue helicopter there. That's not obviously a close-up picture, but
yeah, it's huge.
I've seen the picture on Instagram, and no, it's massive and it's rounded. Like it's not.
It's totally rounded out and not.
Yeah, sorry, but like any of your stuff, it's like you can't tell it was made out of cardboard. Like
no, in the end you can't.
No, that's epic.
I use a lot of for the rounded out objects. I use a lot of. I don't use a lot of. I flat out use drywall putty to smooth it and round it out.
Oh yeah, and then getting back to what you're talking about, world building. Like
you must sand. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, this is an older, but so
that train.
Yeah, well, not necessarily the train. I have a picture of that for later. We'll talk about it, but just this whole little base, like. Everything is made of cardboard. I remember you talking about this picture of toy domination. Everything down to the little fins. Like, what is how long would it take you to build something like this? We're talking like weeks, probably, eh?
That weirdly takes things like that take longer when I'm making it up. I have no real direction. That's actually not finished yet because I'm waiting for my studio to be done because that thing's so big, and that's what's so odd that I would take on this helicarrier because it's even bigger. But that thing, anything I'm making up takes longer because I got to figure it out. That train that you're looking at, it's based on a real train. I turn it into an armored train.
2 foot.
The train's 2 foot. No, that's bigger than that.
I've got a better picture of it here.
That train is
freaking huge, dude. It's
the entire train is massive.
How many cars are on the finished train? Like this is obviously
there's 4 cars. There's one more that's not there. There's an artillery car that goes on the back.
Nice.
Dude,
It's based on absolute World War II German armored trains.
That's the total vibe I got, like just looking at it. And then it's like, and like I said before, like you can't tell it's made of cardboard. Like this stuff is like, that's just insane. The detail, like, and you're cutting out all those little wheels and like,
yeah,
100%. You've built tracks for it too. I'm absolutely sure of that.
Yeah. And like with the wheels, that's like factory work. I thought I had a piece of that laying here. I just do I do a bunch at once. I do a whole bunch at once just to get them, just lay them out, cut them out. And those wheels aren't just a single piece of cardboard. They're not everything I build. Okay, here's something I could tell people who want to do this: make things thicker. Vehicles have mass, so everything I build has a thickness to it. And those train wheels, I think they're 3 pieces of corrugated cardboard thick that I glue together, and then put the drywall putty to smooth it out. But things have got to be thick to give it that realistic look. That's the mistake I see people make. They'll just, use a piece of thin cardboard and they're done with it. My work is thick, like armor.
Well, and it's got a real life depth. Like I said, you look at it, and I can look out my window, and well, I'm not going to see that train, obviously, but look at a train, and that looks like a train, and it's got that depth and the same characteristics. Like it's just awesome. And I saw this, and I was like,
"That's Mobat, yeah,
dude, like, wow, like
that was the second thing I built."
I don't know how you get the creases where they need to be so perfectly, man. Like if that's what I'm saying, it's an art. Like this isn't like someone can do this right now.
Well, and it's not like you're not taking a box and putting it on another box and making little wheels. Like this, like Josh said, he's like,
it looks like panels, man. Like that's why it
looks like the actual Mobat. Like it's like it's actually got better details on it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
The original, like everything's an improvement over like the original, if it's even the original, right? But
yeah, the original Mobat, I mean, if you guys have it, you could only put one guy in the turret and he had to stand up. That was terrible. It was a terrible toy.
It's an awkward, silly toy. Like it's, I don't know. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I actually made like, the driver's compartment under the gun that lifts, and there's a guy in it, and there's 2 positions on top, like a real tank, as opposed to the one with the one guy standing in it.
Yeah, almost like the other G.I. Joe tank, the second one, the Mauler. It had the 2 hatches where the guys could go in the front.
Yes, and I redid that too. That was in that main picture. I turned it into a artillery piece. I totally redid it.
I was gonna ask. So when you're driving down the street and it's like tax season and you see like the TV boxes out there, are you like pulling over?
No, I buy. Well, typically I don't have to buy a box because I have enough garbage.
So many Amazon, yeah.
But this, this pig behind me, I had to buy. I think it took 6 extra large moving boxes to cut this out and do it. And then
that was like $12, bro.
Oh, I know, man. I know. It's
crazy.
And then even though it's made out of the corrugated boxes, I'm going to have to cover it. The entire thing again, go over it again and cover it with something glossy and smooth and put the panels on it and to give it the realistic look.
It's going to be insane, man, when you're done. Like
it really is. I'm impressed with it. And I started this last Saturday. This is the quickest I've moved on something. And
so it's sitting on a 4-foot table or a 5-foot table, because it's huge. It's
7. Like, the vehicle is 7'5" standing up.
And it's just covering the whole. I was like, dude, the table is gone. When you sent me the picture, I was like, there's no table.
When the rotors go on it, which I don't know how I'm going to build the rotors yet. I've not figured that out. I will figure it out, but the rotors are going to make it ridiculous. I don't even know.
That's like the equivalent to the Joe's flag.
Yes, that was the idea, to make it flag scale, but this actually dominates the flag. The flag is really not that it's long, but it's not that big. I referenced one in person.
I did when I had mine set up, I built 3 decks below it.
Mm-hmm.
Had like, all the bunks and stuff set up, and I've seen a lot of people do that. Like they'll build like a nice table with wheels on it so you can move the thing around. Like it's an absolute like just having one, it's an absolute nightmare to like do anything with the flag. You can't slide it around, it'll just snap. The thing's made of glass. Like just a wild vehicle, man. But you know, I can definitely reference the scale from that, but that's insane, man.
This is bigger accidentally, but you know, really, as big as this thing should actually be like 20 feet long to be anything close to the cartoon. Which the cartoon where I'm referencing from, every time they show it in the cartoon, it's not the same in each shot. It's a little different. As I look at stills, it's drawn like MC Escher drew it because lines don't match up to things. So I mean, I don't think there's a bridge on it. I'm putting a bridge on it because it should have a bridge. You know, like the flag.
I know, but they had kind of those silly vehicles where didn't they have a giant plane that had a Cobra mouth that opened up?
Yeah, I got a friend making that right now, actually, out of wood. It must weigh 5 tons.
Oh my god, man!
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's carved that head out.
Is you'll be able to hang that. Like that's the coolest part because it's not going to be too heavy. And a lot of the shots, from what I saw, it was always in the air, like, most of the time. What's up, Otter?
Yeah, you know, I could hang it. It still has some bit of mass.
Yeah.
Well, it may not be with me forever. I don't know. This may not be with me forever. But if it ends up with me forever, I'm going to leave it on a table like this at, you know, waist height, you know, so you can look at it and enjoy it. But I don't know, hanging it, I don't know. It's still kind of heavy, even though it's, you know, it's cardboard. It still has a bit of mass to it. But I'm real happy with how this thing's turning out. It's actually my most popular build. I'm surprised. It seems like the Missile Command would have been, but this thing is skyrocketing me.
Oh, it's just that scale, like, too, right? I don't know. I think
the thing nobody thought they'd be built. Nobody thought this thing would ever be built.
Yeah,
and here it exists.
And that's exactly what you're doing. Like, they never released an awesome Cobra Train. They never released like that APC. Like, and I love everything you're building, especially this. This caught my eye like immediately.
Dude.
Oh, isn't that cool? You know, and people hate that. People hate that thing, and I'm thinking it's so cool.
That gives me like a Star Wars feel, like a little bit. Like,
it's kind of got the B wing, but I didn't go with the B wing. What that's based on is a lot. You know, my background is building World War II German models for the past 25 years. You know, who doesn't love World War II, especially the German material?
Yeah. There
was a company, Von Boss, if I've got that right. They were making planes like this that were off center, and they had a ton that were never made. And I actually, you know, I have a book on these things, and I just made a Cobra version of an off center plane. And, you know, like the armament, like the B-wing, not on purpose, you know, with that version right you're looking at is the ship killer. I made that torpedo, but there's also a cannon that will replace that too, to be a ground attack vehicle.
Oh,
but that's my people. And there's a lot of drywall putty in that to smooth it out, make it round.
No doubt. Yeah. And I love just that. It's just a unique design. Like, it draws your eye right away.
I called that one the Sidewinder because I try to keep things snake related if I can. And Sidewinder seemed to suit that because, you know, you're flying to the side.
And
it looks great.
Oh, dude, it's killer. And this one I love too. It just kind of reminds me of a little like Sherman tank from like World War II.
Heavily on German tanks. That's the.
Now, do those all work together?
The wheels? Yeah. The tracks on that one do not work.
Okay, I was gonna say, because that would be insane.
Well, it could.
I know you could do it probably now, but
I could. I made that. I think I made that back in January. That is that's the Cobra Heavy Attack tank, the Puma. And I don't know if you when you dug through, if you referenced the Iron Scrappers or Scrap Iron's Iron Scrapper, because I actually did 2 versions on the same hull. There's a tank killer version of that hull, which I started with, because Iron Scrapper, who's the tank destroyer character, he doesn't have a tank, so I made him a tank destroyer, which you may not have that, but it's that with a huge gun.
It's awesome, man.
How long have you been like building these? Like, I know you've been on Instagram for a while, but like, when did
I've only been Instagram 5 months. I've been building these since COVID.
Yeah, right at the beginning of COVID. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
that Cat 2, that red Mobat you saw, that was vehicle 2. I built that during COVID. That was the second thing I built.
But you also have. Like, oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was to say, you said you've been doing models for years, so it seems like the way that you're tooling stuff, like cutting it out, assembling it, is almost like a model in a sense.
Yeah. But the modeling part, what that does is bring the realism into it. Like G.I. Joe had those 2 releases, they had realism in their stuff. You know, like you see my vehicles, they don't have a million guns, and the guns aren't huge, and there's not a huge missile. I put realism in it. That's what G.I. Joe lost, and that's what G.I. Joe is still missing. I mean, they're doing the 6-inch resculpts, and they're beautiful, but come on, man, give us some new vehicles.
Well, a lot of my friends that are Joe guys, they're a little bit older, like your guys' age, and same problem. They're like, they gave us freaking Nerf guns. Like, you want this? And they like pitch it to me. They're like, do you want these stupid Nerf guns? And I'm like, I'll take them. I like space guns. Like, bring them my way. Like,
yeah, I think it's there is a little bit younger crowd that seems to like gravitate towards that. But yeah, for myself included, that was like right when
drives you nuts.
Everything turned to neon, and then you had like the Eco Warriors and that stupid Battle Force 2000 gimmick where it was like 5 crappy vehicles that made a crappy base, and it was just like I don't know. Looking back now, obviously you know the end of it, and I love that you're just kind of stopping at a point and being like, nope, I'm just going to do like my own thing. Totally. But I want to know too a little bit more about this. Like, I should have got more detailed pictures. You can see the helicopter a bit better there now too.
Oh yeah, the Cottonmouth. And if you see in the bottom corner there, there's the hiss I made. That's a recovery hiss. Ooh. It's a recovery vehicle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have a solo shot of that one?
I probably do not. I thought I did, but there was things
like that. You know, like the bridge layer was a really cool idea. So I did a Cobra vehicle, which is a hiss. That's a recovery hiss that has a crane on it and a boom, and it has the shovel in the back. I just try to do things that I think would be cool. That I would think and that recovery hiss has no guns on it. There's not one gun because recovery vehicle does not have guns.
Right. That's smart, dude. And it makes it faster. So
yeah. I mean, they're not going out and shooting. They're then there's cranes or not cranes. There's pulleys on it. That's a pretty cool vehicle, actually. I forgot I did that. I've done so many so quickly, I kind of forget what I did. And they're not.
Dude, you should have like little drones pop out of that thing too in the recovery vehicle.
Yeah. I mean,
or another vehicle like it, like to mimic it, that like carries out the drones or something before the war. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any artillery, so the other side's like, oh, what's going on? And then just like little drones pop out.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows?
I'm always on ideas. Like, one of my cooler builds too, which I don't think you got a photo of it, and it's nowhere near. Is I did a Scud missile launcher, but not a Scud. You didn't see the Scud. Yeah. I called it the Cobra Siege. I mean, it's massive. It's a huge piece.
Was that the big missile truck?
Yeah. I mean, I based it on the Scud missile launcher.
Yeah, it's like
good job, Brad. Good job, man. Good job not getting. We need a new producer, man.
I have a lot of builds. I've done a lot of builds. I forget what I've done. I totally forget the stuff I built. With G.I. Joe itself, I try to keep everything very realistic. Cobra, Cobra, I give it, more leeway. If anybody's looking at this photo, you can see in the front there's a it's not the mauler, but it's the equalizer. I did a better version of equalizer, and behind it's a Mobad, so that gives scale to everything around it.
Well, you've even got the Wolverine there, and is that like?
Yeah, I did a better Wolverine. I forgot about that. I did a armored cab on it, and I modernized it. Well, I do not modernize to now. I make better for the 80s. I only do 80s back, only 80s tech. Like that. Okay. Terradrome is all 80s tech. There's actually like reel-to-reel computers inside there.
Oh, that's so cool. And that's
so nuts.
I love that you're staying in that time frame. It's like it's still the 80s, but their stuff's better than it, they're top of the line. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I keep everything that way. Actually, if you look at that table too, and I forgot I did that, on right above the Mobat is a throne for Serpentor. It's hard to see in that photo, but if you go to my Instagram page and look at it, that throne, that Cobra on top of it turns into his air chariot. I don't even know how I engineered that. But you'll have to look and see it. But that throne lifts out of that staircase, and that Cobra turns into his air chariot.
I've seen the pictures on Instagram separately of the air chariot, but I had no idea that it actually turned into
that. We need to make sure we put a link to your YouTube in here too, so people can see how you
do Instagram, not YouTube so much. YouTube is I don't know. I'm more. YouTube's not as cool to me as Instagram. I hate to say. I have more followers so far than YouTube, but I don't understand YouTube at all.
I don't either, man. I've had 3 pages and I don't understand it.
Instagram is just more builder user friendly, but there is a video on both of them, Instagram and YouTube, for that thing where it transforms, and I don't know how I did that. I really don't know how I engineered that. I tell my girlfriend all the time, like, I don't know how I just did this. I don't know how I figured that out, because I just sit and figure it out.
Yes,
all our cardboard. Everything's on cardboard.
100%. And Pirates had a good question here too. Do you make anything modular? Like, obviously nothing's too huge, but
he just said
like, I know,
drone.
Yeah, the helicarrier. Yeah, I mean, I build in sections. Everything's built in sections. All of it's built in sections. Everything, and the helicarrier is so big and massive. It's the first time, and eventually we'll turn this camera around. I'll show you this thing. I actually set it up to be built modular as I built it, and I drilled into it and put dowel rods through it, and then glued it together, the main hull, to make it stronger. But the wings on it, which I was doing, the wings I've been building today, where the rotors are, and I think jets, I'm not sure. Those are going to come off and come on. They will always come off and come on because they won't fit through a door. There's parts of the Terradrome will not fit through a door if the top doesn't come off.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
It's too big. It has to be turned sideways and put out a door, so the top has to come off.
No doubt, but I think you want to give us a little tour of this massive beast behind you here? That'd be great.
So yeah, I sure will. All right, tell me again how to turn this camera around.
Go right down to more.
Yep.
Settings.
Camera. All right.
The opposite of what it is now.
Is that it? All right.
Yep.
All right. So here we go. So look, here is an original. This is a completely original build. This is something I made up, and this is fictitious. It's the Cobra Manta Ray. It's the Cobra answer to the shark.
That's awesome.
So it's completely rounded out.
I'm starting to see a theme here with all your builds.
It's got jets and propellers.
Dude.
When I put that on here, but here's the helicarrier as it sits right now. It's kind of hard because it fits in here. It's so big it doesn't fit well.
That's insane.
Down here.
Oh my god.
Down here, it just seems like fire bats would be down there.
That's a killer idea.
In the bottom.
You know how long it's going to take you to detail, man? way
I've
you
got to
want
be
it
done by the
detailed?
29th. It'll be done. It has to be.
You're
Oh, the
crazy, man.
29th.
It'll
Dude,
be
you
done.
cut
Well,
so clean, man. Your cuts are so clean.
this is day 7. This is day 7 of me building. Here,
God.
I've got it locked in right now, but this is an elevator. This pushes down.
What?
So that it's this scale.
That's insane.
But you know what? I've got these kind of references right here. I mean, you know, I've done this for years. There's aircraft carriers I've built, battleships. Again, this didn't have a command control tower, but it just seems like it should.
I love the Liberties, man, because they're not insane. Like, they're practical.
Yeah. You know, here's the back.
So you're gonna make it so you like? Is there access to the rest of the body, or is that just like? Is that just
no? It would take so long. But like I said, that these are not permanent.
Right.
I ran curtain rods all the way through it.
Oh, that was so cool.
Because it's got to come out, but also I needed something so strong. And I just did this today.
That's so
That's
cool.
crazy. You should make the table like an LED cloud.
Do what?
So it's like make the table into like an LED cloud table. So it looks like it's just sitting on a cloud.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
I got them everywhere. My whole ceiling is the cloud.
But it's just massive. I mean, it's so big and it's solid and heavy. And this is full of bracing and reinforcement.
So it's like 3D printing, only cardboard style. But
kinda.
You're doing it's manual. Yeah. It's manual though, but the way that it's structured, it's a lot of the same. All the bracing.
That's like so killer. But we've got some pirates invading the stream tonight too.
What's up, pirates?
What's going on, man?
I had to read this, man. I had to read this. Once I saw all of Christopher's work, I'm like, yo, I gotta say hi to this guy in person because his stuff is just absolutely mind-boggling how awesome it is. So I just needed to take part in this, even though it's just for a minute. I didn't want to interrupt earlier, but I just couldn't hold myself anymore. I had to come in here and say something because his stuff's just so freaking amazing.
Hey, glad to hear it, man. I really am. How do I turn this camera back around? Tell me again. Oh, more settings.
Yep, settings.
Camera. Oh,
you got it. You're a pro now. You're gonna be a pro. Opposite of what you. There you go. There you go.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm better at building than this kind of stuff. Hey, Pirates. I'm glad to hear it.
You know what you need? You know what you need? You need someone. You need a video person and an editor, and then you don't have to do any of this shit. And then you can have someone running this while you're like, yeah, and then I do this, yeah, okay, and then you're just like,
hey, it's possible, man. You know, it's possible. You know, really, my
you're doing something different that I've never seen, and you're doing it. I think at the highest level that you could do it. I don't know how else you would, make it any better.
Well,
like structural.
I tell you what, my end game, and I'm not shy about this. My end game is I hook to hook with the manufacturer. I doubt that anyone ever built something as big as that thing, but I want my creation.
What about like extreme sets or something?
Yeah.
Like set? What do you mean sets?
So there's a company called Extreme Sets, and they actually build stuff. Their sets are built out of cardboard.
Yeah. So
you probably be a perfect fit with them.
But let's say like they want to start doing vehicles or 3 3/4 vehicles. So this is one of their sets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So they do a lot of these. And I mean, that would be ideal, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, my real end game is to sell my designs. That's it. I want to sell my designs. I want to, I want to run root etiquette, not action figures, but my intent is I want to sell my designs.
But they would have the machinery to cut the things that you would, you know what I mean? Like if you're talking,
I don't necessarily mean cardboard. I don't mean cardboard. The cardboard, again, like I've said, cardboard is just my medium. That's just my oil paint. That's
I know, but it's already figured out. Like they already have you know what I mean? Like I would start there. I don't know.
Could be.
It's just,
Yeah, could be. But that's
If
the
they were
thing.
to do like a cool Kickstarter somehow, like get it funded to where you do like one thing, and then they see how that goes, and then you would be in like Big Bad Toy Store, and then all the other companies would be like, oh shoot, let's do this in plastic, you know.
Chances are, what I'll start with is the barnacle, which you guys don't know what the barnacle is, do you? The jet ski.
I don't, because
I know what it is.
I'm not old.
The jet ski?
but-
I did that on purpose.
Wait, Pirate,
It's
how old
small.
are you?
I'm 50, so I know exactly what
Oh,
he's
you guys are all old,
No, I
man.
just made the
I'm outta
barnacle. The
here.
barnacle's
I'm
only
leaving.
I saw it. The Cobra vehicle.
yeah, the barnacle's only about 2 weeks old. It's real small. It's not here. I'd show it to you, but the barnacle's a jet ski, a Cobra jet ski.
Like I said, I follow all your stuff. I'm usually the first one
Thanks, man.
commenting on your stuff. So
I know you are, man. I think that's awesome, dude. Yeah, thank you. But
Yeah,
the barnacle, I think, could be the first thing that I could get produced.
Yeah, because it doesn't really require a lot of resources for that because of its size.
And
I wonder how, like, if you could do like, I know you don't want to do cardboard, but I do think that's like, it just makes sense in my brain.
It could be
To
whatever.
start there, but I think Extreme Sets, like, if they could do like between you and them, like some type of Kickstarter, because the guy who runs it's a very cool guy. Like, he's very
Put
good
me in
dude.
touch with him and I'll reach out, because if
Yeah.
he's already working with the medium I'm working with, because probably could do something for sure.
Because if they had the machinery and you were doing the tooling for it, I don't know, it just, because their stuff does work really well for me, but you see a lot of people not use it right. And I was doing a live once, and I was like, and he jumped into my live under Extreme Sets, and he was like, yeah, some people just don't know how to bend the cardboard or whatever. I was like, those people are idiots. And he's just like, he just didn't say anything. like he said something like this, like he wasn't saying no or yes. But yeah, he's a really cool guy. Like he gets the community really well. So, but I think if there's enough 3 3/4 guys that wanted that, like that would be awesome, man.
Oh man,
Because
like,
it would take Hasbro 5 years to do that. It would take, this could be in a year turnaround for some people,
and not a repaint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate repaints so much. I hate repaints.
I think there'd be a good market too, maybe for like stuff like Action Force, where if you could, like Josh said, stick with your medium, but have the turret so it's flat, and then you have to fold it down. Like it doesn't have to be like completely like.
And it could be like, do
like
you
a
want to
model,
be like Christopher George? You can
Yeah,
be. And it'd be like, in your own home. And I'd be like, it's already painted and everything. All I got to do is fold it together. And I'm like, ah!
Yeah, I definitely could. I mean, I'll get in touch with this guy, and yeah, I could do something like that for sure. I could.
It's something for them. Like if they just saw what you do, like it would just, like that's the thing, is the right people have to see it. You know what I mean? Like that one person, and it's gonna catch, man. Because it's something I've never seen. And it's incredible. I don't want to make your head too damn big, but it's incredible, man. Like
I think once I get to my, because again, I'm presenting. I rented a table not to sell at the Joe Fest, and then of course I've reached out, so this thing's going, and I'll get my not barcode. The hell's that thing called? That code that you scan. I'll get that thing.
Yeah.
Code.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Because people who find me, really like what I'm doing, but I don't know how to get myself found. I don't know how, like, someone like.
Well, I saw you through Forge. I've been on Toy Domination. We talk to Dom every day, and I never saw that episode, so I've missed stuff too, also along the way. And then I saw you on Forge's thing. I was like, yo, what? Like, I was throwing out comments just like to keep the chat going. I like to do that, like just to have fun. And I was like, I kept looking at the more stuff you were pulling out, and he was talking about, and I was like, wait, this dude's all cardboard. So when I popped off the live, I looked, I was like, holy crap, dude! Like, this is insane, because it's toy art, and I've never seen this angle. Like, I've seen a lot of foam, tons of foam people because of cosplay and everything else, like EVA foam, other types of foam, diorama foam. But I've never seen this before. And I've seen people do dios out of cardboard and do the putty over them and shit, and that looks fine. But this is different. It's clean. It's not Tatooine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something different.
Well, and
I can say I've come to that is foam core. That's probably the closest I could say I've come to the cardboard is the foam core.
The thing about this stuff, though, I was going to say is like it doesn't look like it's cardboard. Like
No.
I'd
Not
swear
at all.
That is the whole set. That's the whole sell of all this. That's the main point. That's it.
It's the
Like,
finishing. It's the
that's the
finish
goal.
work is why when I finish it.
Yeah.
Is why, and I think
like, I was gonna say with toy photography, I'm not trying to make it look like a toy that I'm taking a picture of. I'm trying to make it look real. It's the same damn concept all across the board.
And there's a whole bunch of us out there, man. A bunch of us grown-up kids, man. I realize that, in the past year that there's a whole bunch of us that are looking back, to childhood. There's a ton of us. I mean, you
guys are all looking way back. I'm just kind of like looking over my shoulder, but it's the
whatever.
same.
How old are you?
You need to stop that, man.
How old are you?
I'm 37 in my 38th year, so.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are a child.
You're a sapling, eh? You're just a sapling.
I'm not. You're only 44, Rad. Aren't you 44? Yeah.
I'm
See, you're not that much older.
In sight. I'll be 50 this year.
I'm there already, man.
So you're 49 in your 50th year. I heard an old man say he was like, "I'm 78 in my 79th year." And I've never heard anyone say it like that. And I was like, I'm going to say that all the time when I can. So my birthday's in December, so I only can't say it for a month. You know what I mean? So it's not bad.
Well, man,
actually, I had a quick question in regards to how you cut your material, because I was wondering, do you just cut it with like blades, or do you use a laser cutter, or?
No, man, I use where is it? I've been using it all day. I use a box cutter.
Oh, okay, nice and simple.
That's insane.
Yeah, I use a box cutter. No, it's
even when you do the wheels too.
Yeah, box cutter.
When you're notching them, wow.
Box cutter. Everything's box cutter.
I couldn't believe when you said you made your wheels.
Scissors is wrong.
Like, I couldn't believe you said you made your wheels. Like, I thought maybe you bought them and then built around it, but you actually build everything right down to the last piece.
I got an unpainted vehicle. I'll get it, man. I'll show you. I'll get it.
I've seen even that vehicle, this vehicle here. I've seen that.
Yeah, I saw the axles and all that.
The beginning of it when you were making the wheels and everything. I just couldn't believe it. This is mind blowing.
Because I'm having a studio built onto my house. And in fact, but look at it. Everything in my house is a mess.
This is rich, man.
So that's like my space now. It's taking me so long to get work done because I'm reorganizing my whole basement and turning it into a studio.
Oh my God, dude.
That's my work now.
This is an addition on my house.
Dude,
God, dude.
When Rad, when you come down here, we're going there. That's where we're going.
Yeah, totally. Everything on the left side of my house is on the right side of my house. So,
Pirates, where do you live?
Let me flip my camera again.
Oh, that's not
Let's
far.
let me flip again. Hold on.
We all four live within like 4 hours.
Yep. I'll swing by, pick up Pirates, and we'll just head straight to Michigan.
Just do it. Actually, I should swing by your area and head down to Michigan.
All right. This is my bedroom. So here's all my shit.
God,
yeah,
wow.
My girlfriend loves it. So there you can see all that scrap in the back.
I don't want to dig into your personal life. We said something about divorce earlier, and I don't know why.
Well, that was 10 years. That was like 11 years ago, man.
I'm kidding.
Hey, they're done that.
I used to have to hide stuff. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So you see,
unfinished truck.
Oh wow!
So all these wheels, I cut out.
It's just so incredible, man. Like I just can't.
I don't get how it's faster. Your brain's weird, man. Like good weird. Like that would take me so long.
Creative.
And then right in front of it is the Siege. I cut all those wheels out.
Wow.
And the racket.
Wow. That's just insane.
Dude.
That is so insane. I love that.
That's amazing.
I mean, I engineer everything.
Like, look at you can see the APC beside it, and that's not.
Oh
yeah, there you go.
That's not a really small vehicle, but makes it look tiny.
It dwarfs it beside this thing.
Crazy.
Oh,
Wow.
And then there's like the helicopter sitting on top of that.
That's insane, man.
And then I can actually show you this now. The let's see if it'll lift with one hand.
good God.
We'll do it one-handed. But this is.
Don't break it, man. We get it.
Yeah, but that would lift. That elevator actually raises and lowers too. But my whole house is chaos.
You're an artist, man.
Well,
Do you have an engineering background, Christopher?
My background?
Is your background in engineering?
Nope, I'm a hairdresser.
Get out of town, man.
Yeah, I own a hair salon.
No,
That's
that makes
crazy,
sense.
Man.
That makes sense, though.
He's a cut creator.
No,
So
it makes
that is all
complete
cardboard.
sense. That's stupid. That looks like metal. Damn it.
I know. It's amazing, man.
That's so good, man. Holy crap.
I
Like I
based
saw
this
when you
on.
built the internal frame. Oh my goodness! It just looked like a real plane being
Dude,
built.
I love that. That's
Wow.
beautiful. The way that it comes down to the nose like that, like
It's based on the Starfighter, which is an American jet fighter.
dude, I would buy that Kickstarter for 3.75. For that right there.
Trying to think
That
where
is
that little.
amazing.
Let's see. I'll turn this back. I'll turn this back around now.
The cockpit of that reminds me of the what's that fighter jet? That it was I think it was called the X-1. It was like a upper atmosphere spy plane. I think the Americans were building at one time. I think it's called the X-1. That's what the cockpit reminds me of.
It is a blend of the X something and the Starfighter. It's a blend of the two of them. Exactly. You nailed it. I based all my stuff on realism.
So would you commission one of those?
I've commissioned the aircraft carrier, for God's sake. Although
so that's a yes. What was the price of the plane that you just showed? The
Starfighter? Oh God, I don't know, man.
You don't have to tell me price. We could say that after. It's all right. But it is possible.
Like every artist never knows what to quote their
Dude,
art.
I don't care. It's insane. I know what goes into it.
Well, the thing is, it's funny. Like my buddy of mine, he's like, "What are you going to charge for this aircraft carrier?" I'm like, "I don't know. I have no idea."
$1,000.
It's not enough. That is not enough at all. Well, are you kidding? You can buy a flag, half a flag for $1,000. No, that's not enough.
2,000. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Paint stuff for $600.
Yeah, it's crazy. I seen action figures for like $300. I'm like, come on. Really?
So I'm not building 7-foot something for $1,000.
When I was doing Black Series, all my stuff was $200 before I made it, or just to get on my list, it was $200 I would make the custom, and then whoever was next on the list got that custom. There was never like no input from anybody. It was just what I would do off the top of my brain, and then they would pay $200, but I would make it worth $200. You would get toy photography. And I would send the 8x10 glossy with the signature, and I'd make a video possibly about it. Like I would do the whole thing just to make it unique,
If you sat in my salon in my chair for an hour, I'd charge you $150.
Wow.
Well, that's understandable.
My barber is good, and it's only $55, and it takes her like 2 hours. She has a beard too. She does good, man. It's only a week out. We're only a week out.
$1,000 for this thing? No, I don't even.
I was just throwing a price out there, bro.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I've got 5 days in it now.
$2,000 a day. I don't know, man. We're at $6,000 right now.
But commission work, I don't know. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I mean, I get asked a lot. Especially will I make this in the 6-inch scale? No.
That's crazy. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, well,
Like,
I mean, in general,
you're
whatever I
gonna
build.
need more than a studio. You're gonna need a pole barn if you're gonna be doing that.
But whatever I build, people, will message me like, "Hey, would you do this in classified scale for how much?" We're like, "Nah, I'm not. I'll never do classified scale." And again, I don't know. I don't know how to charge for it. I'm learning how to build currently. I'm still learning.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's a company that could take your scale and then just build it up when they go to put it through their machinery,
that company's probably in China.
No, it's Extreme Sets, man. They make both scales. They do 118 and 6-inch.
Or like I was saying, that Bobby Vila from Action Force, like he's itching to get vehicles out. If you get like a cheap cardboard, like awesome looking thing, like he'd probably be all over it, man.
Mm-hmm. It's possible, man. If you guys have directions to point me that way, and I'll I'll see. But I just keep creating and building my world and getting my
So
my skills better.
Are you doing this studio yourself, or
no,
are you
shit,
doing?
No.
I was gonna say, because how are you doing both of those things, bro? Like,
no. That's an actual addition to my house. It's an actual addition to my house.
Okay. Gotta be safe and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Chris is out there putting cardboard up on the ceiling and shit.
Oh no, man!
It's a Starboy.
It's gonna look fine.
Starboy.
Build a studio cardboard. No, not cardboard. No. Again, cardboard's just the medium to get my ideas out there. With like you said, embrace it, that people like it, but it's just my medium. It's my tool to get my designs.
Right.
It's simpler
for you. And not for me. I could never.
What were you saying, Rad?
It's funny, just like I was mentioning, I didn't mention it earlier, but after I watched Chris on Toy Domination, I got a bunch of cardboard out, like a little Star Wars house or something.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
I'm like, my cardboard thing doesn't look like his cardboard thing.
And then Rad bought a 3D printer. That's what happened.
And now he's a 3D printer king.
I can't 3D print. I'm actually talking to somebody now about 3D printing some like control panels and stuff for me because I hate that kind of detail work.
Well, if that falls through, just reach out to me on IG and figure something.
Oh, you do that stuff? Yeah, because I hate cockpits. I don't care about that stuff.
Yo, he can make you some 3D prints. You can make me a plane, and everyone wins.
Funny too, because it'd be more expensive and like it's just the original, but somebody has like pretty much every original G.I. Joe vehicle posted as STL files.
Yeah.
So I have
some of those.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I have some like throughout Amarex Spot. I have some of those.
Well, and then they give you instructions on what to scale it up to if you want to print it for your like 1/6, but you're not making stuff like Chris is. Like he's doing like this, like, and your custom vehicles, in my opinion, are better than like anything that they came out with in that line. Like, there's great vehicles. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, that's not what it's.
Dude, I would like to see what you would do with Warhammer 118 Warhammer stuff.
Oh, you know what?
I know you've looked at it.
I'll venture out. I don't have any ideas yet, but Masters of the Universe is in my brain.
Dude, Warhammer's is tanks and everything, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm way familiar with Warhammer. Yeah, Warhammer. There's probably money to be made there to be doing third party vehicles because I intend to make money at some point with all this shit that I'm doing. That's my plan, is to make money. It's fun, but I'll whore myself out in the direction.
When you're on wheel number 12, it's not fun though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, again, I hope somebody in China will, manufacture take my mock-up and turn it into something tangible.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I don't see that not happening.
Yeah, honestly, if you're going to that G.I. Joe convention or whatever, it's like, that's going to be like, there's no way somebody like Ron Rudat and stuff not going to pay attention to that. Like,
and it doesn't seem like you're a person that takes a day off from doing this,
No,
so
weird.
it's not like you're gonna be ghosted. Like you're gonna be gone for a month. Like you're doing something all the time.
Yeah, like
So,
today I had to work. I don't actually work a lot. It's embarrassing. I just I've had my salon is turning 20 next week, and it started with just me and my ex-wife doing hair. Now I've got a real salon. I've had it for 20 years, and like today I had a cancellation for an hour and a half. I live 2 blocks. I ran home and started working on these wings because I could. The electricians are here wiring up the studio. I'm like, guys, just
it's either that or hang out with your ex-wife. I would have ran home too, man. That's great. That's smart.
But
sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm just lucky. My business, my house, same street.
That's awesome.
So I think I work 22 hours a week.
Wow.
Professionally. So I can screw around with this a lot.
Well, you got to the point where you built your business up where you can do that too. So everything that you're doing, like I'm saying, like I don't see this not working out. Like you're just proving me right. Like more.
I think you're a goddamn genius, is what I think. You clearly know stuff.
I think you're a bit biased, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Wait, take the W, man. Take the W. But
so you guys are close to me. You're near Ohio, Cincinnati.
I'm in Michigan, man. So I'm right here in Bay City, Michigan, and those guys are like right
Canadians
way, and you're like right here. So
are you guys? Are you? Like yesterday and the day before, it looked like Armageddon from Canada. It must look like shit up there.
Oh, dude, it's gross. Like it'd be all right.
It smells worse than it looks.
It was bad here. It was real bad.
We had like the stay indoors, like if you can, type of thing. Like
I mean, like I'm on the other side. Like I think Eastern Ontario and the southern states seem to get it worse.
Yeah,
like, it'll roll in for like a few hours, but a nice.
I know east of us was worse, like New York and stuff.
It's always worse east.
Like New York had it really bad too.
Well, as far south as I am, and the skies were red. It looked like I was playing Fallout in real life. It was so bad outside.
Dude, it must have like missed us and went to you somehow, like down the side, like through the foam and.
Yeah, not today. Today it was sunny, but yesterday and the day before was the sky was red. It looked like Fallout. It was like the video game.
And we all live close, so it's been hot as shit the last 2 days, man.
Oh, it's hot as shit here.
All of us live where it's hot.
Yeah, it has been hot as hell here.
I'm pretty sure this is the only international toy cast that you get every week live at 8 p.m. on Fridays. I'm pretty sure. So,
Michigan. Yep.
Michigan, Canada. It's international, man. It's.
I guess we had Germany on a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
We did. Oh, yeah. We had 3. Yeah.
It was like awesome. He stayed up. What was it, 2 in the morning or something?
Yeah, dude. Lord of Thane is crazy, and he turns stuff around so quick, man. Like I know, Rad did that N1 really fast. It was like green one day and then silver in a couple hours, like in his post. But yeah, same with Lord of Thane, man. He goes nuts. It's crazy. Angus, our boy from Germany.
Angus. Are you guys friends with, I think, Hippie Soldier or something, his name, from Siberia?
Nope.
He's always on when I'm on. Because he works with cardboard too, so he found me and he's always on when I'm on. I finally asked him, like, what do you do, dude? He's like, nothing.
Like, I think that's what Lord of Thane was talking about. I think he was talking about that guy. Because I think
Soldier, I think.
Is that the guy that he was talking about? Someone in the comments that does all cardboard Star Wars. Is that who he was talking about?
He does all cardboard. He does the same 4-wheeled vehicle over and over, and then he blows them up. But he's in Siberia, and it blows up. I'm like, why are you up when I'm up?
Siberia.
That'll work.
And wait, so you have like a southern accent. Are you from Ohio?
I don't have a southern accent.
A little bit. It's like a draw. A little bit.
You're just at your A. What's up, A?
That's not me. That's them, bro.
I sound like TV. We don't have an accent in Cincinnati.
I'm telling people when I went to Ohio, every time I've been to Ohio, they have like a southern accent. People don't believe me.
But not Cincinnati. Cincinnati
yes,
is like
you do a little bit. It's
you have
there.
an accent. I don't know if it's a Southern accent, but you do have an accent. All you Americans have accents.
All you
Oh,
Americans, where are you from?
I'm
He's
from
Canada, too.
Me and Rad, we're Canadians. The Canucks.
You know, I thought Rad was. You sounded like Strange Brew. Like take
No.
off, eh?
Tell me more about it. You got it about it?
What's it all about? What's it all about?
So what are you guys burning up there?
That's what I've been saying.
Weed.
It's what do
legal
you think I
here.
get high from it?
We just every like 10 years, Canada gets sick of its trees, and we burn them all down so we can grow new ones.
Yep. Just having a big bonfire.
It's a big
I thought
party.
you guys were all in Michigan. Oh, okay.
No.
So just you're in
We're
Michigan.
Canadian.
Yeah, I'm only
I'm
like
saying we're all like, they're only like over in this part of Canada, and you're like here, so we're all real close.
And I was originally from Montreal, so I can actually even speak French too. So
No, I can't speak crap, man. I can barely speak English. Apparently, I'm speaking in Southern, which is bizarre
It's
because
not
hell
like
no, I'm not Southern.
I'm not saying Southern. I'm saying like you guys have a Southern accent in Ohio, and people don't believe me because I went.
Than Michigan.
Well, when you go north of Michigan, you get a Southern accent. It's really weird. So when I went down I was going to Columbus, and I was like trying to get to the Horseshoe, the stadium, and the lady was like, "How much more south y'all want to go?" And I was like, "What? Like I thought we were in Ohio." Like I swear.
Though. All right, so Cincinnati and Columbus.
I know, but
outside of them, yeah, it's very rural, very country. I mean, it's farmland.
Right,
Illinois is the same way.
Yeah,
and I believe Michigan has its militia.
What? No, it's not everyone.
Well, I know. All of Michigan.
Oh, this is just going crazy.
Hey, remember we were talking about toys? Now we're talking about rednecks.
Hey, this is the best toy cast in the world.
You hear banjos playing in the background or something. Go ahead.
Someone said today about we were talking about how the fires in Canada. One of my styles is like, yeah, Justin Trudeau is saying it's probably blaming on the unvaxxed truck drivers. Yeah, we heard that down here.
Oh, man. We got people that drive around with like hockey sticks sticking out of the back of their trucks with like fuck Trudeau flags on them and like
we have fuck Biden down here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we got him here too. We got him here too.
All over the country, fuck Joe Biden.
Oh wow. That's
it's bad.
Josh, you sound just like Dan Aykroyd. Tell him about the Twinkie.
Yes, well, sometimes I get Ricky from the Trailer Park Boys. That's what they're like.
No, you are Dan Aykroyd in Ghostbusters. Tell him about the Twinkie.
Yeah, you have that accent.
But Josh won't get this because he's just a sapling in the forest of life. Is there actually a radio station called WKRP in Cincinnati?
No.
Oh,
I always wondered that myself.
You just took away his Santa Claus, bro. No. Like you gave no thoughts about it. You just no.
Didn't even hesitate. Nope.
No,
there's a Joe Burrow though. He's making us famous, Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But
I don't know what it is.
That Cobra Stingray. That's actually my favorite vehicle of yours that you made.
I didn't do a Stingray. What'd you call it?
Not the Stingray. I don't know what it's called. It looks like a manta ray.
Oh, the manta ray, the one that's
that what it's called, the manta ray? Yeah, that.
That's
the vehicle of yours.
Yeah, I made that. I wanted an answer to the G.I. Joe shark.
And
I get the ideas now. I get them. Yeah. I understand you more now.
That flies and goes underwater. That's both.
That's beautiful.
That's what that is. Yeah. And I painted it. That paint scheme I got from an old TV show from Sequest.
Yep. I was about to say the paint scheme reminded me of the Sequest, the DSB as they call it.
That's exactly where that
Pirates
came from.
You should have been hosting this, bro.
That's exactly where that came from.
He knows exactly what you were coming. He knows it though. Like That's like when Famine
we're
picks
the
out.
same age, man. We grew up with the same TV shows, man.
Like that's like when Famine can pick stuff out of our photos like we wouldn't expect. He's like, oh, da da da, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like that's crazy.
Oh,
No,
dude,
that's
he's
awesome.
So, he's
And I stuck an eel, a Cobra eel, in it, driving it.
Yeah, I saw that. I love that vehicle. That's my fan. All your vehicles that you've made, and I've seen all of them so far, at least all the ones you've showcased. That's still by far my favorite one. Just because of the fact that it looks so sleek and the fact that it's like the shark. It can fly and it can go underwater. It's just so cool.
That's the kind of stuff that Hasbro's missing, man.
Exactly. They're sleeping on so much stuff.
They wouldn't get all the details though, even if that were a thing, which it's not ever going to be. But they would miss every little detail, like insane.
Well, I did a Kickstarter, and I'm waiting for it to come. I just got an update. It's going to come in the winter time somewhere. Somebody's doing the Robo Skull.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I paid $350 for it. If there's enough people that would launch a freaking Robo Skull, that thing's stupid. It's a TIE fighter. I mean, I want it. I'm not knocking that company. I'm not knocking that company. I'm not. They're doing great. But I'm just saying that's how starved that we are. And that, everyone's going to pay that much money for a hiss in 6-inch scale.
That's ridiculous.
There is a market for what I'm offering.
Because what you do is way too hard for me to do. But if I could get rid of that part and I could just get it and I could just put it together, like that would make sense. Like
that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's a market for this. There's a market.
Because I don't want to cut. I don't know how to paint cardboard correctly, especially like that. I don't know any of it. So I would want it all ready to go.
Well, I wanted you to have it in plastic is what I want you to have it.
I know.
These are mock. Look at this. Look at everything I'm doing as a mock-up.
Prototype. I got it. Yeah.
It's a mock-up. Everything's a mock-up. I mean, it's really, again, I've said it before and I keep saying it's really cool that people enjoy that it's cardboard, and I'll take whatever press I get. But that I work with cardboard, it's not my angle.
Right.
These are mock-ups for what I want to get.
I want it to make it your angle. Lean into it, man. You're too good cardboard. At it. Yeah. You're too good.
And I like and I like that, I'm getting more people showing me like, hey, look what I built. And that's cool. That's great. I just collaborate with some guy who built some out of cardboard. That's awesome. But
you really don't care, do you?
See, dude, sometimes sometimes though, like I get what you're saying, because like when I put stuff up, a lot of times it looks like it's just something from the movie. Now, if I put up a custom and my hand's in the picture, it gets a lot more attention and more love because they see that it's a thing. It's not just a picture that I grabbed off of Google and I'm putting up. Like no one reads like toy photography. No one reads any of the hashtags. They just see it pop up and they don't like it because it's just it looks like something from a movie screen or something, which is good, but it's also not great. So if I put my hand in there, it kind of shows off that it is a toy. Well,
it's funny you said that because as I'm building this thing behind me, and my girlfriend's probably watching now, and she'll be pissed when I say this, but I was like, hey, I want you in the photo to show scale and go put a big titty bra on. Be hot, And the ththing is, it worked. It's this thing is blowing up. I'm like, I need you to be in these pictures more because you show how big it is. Plus, she's pretty. I will use every tool in my goddamn box.
It works, man.
Whatever, man.
That's what I'm saying. And she's probably watching. She shows up.
She starts getting more followers than your page, though. And you're like, all right, we got to start putting them on your page, all right?
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Whatever gets more eyeballs on your work, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I've had friends on Facebook would sell stuff, and there'd be someone holding them here.
Right to their boobs?
Check out these. Yeah, look at these Marvel Legends for sale. And people are like, oh, shit. Right. Like, it works.
But like you said, you use your hand, to show it. She is pretty, but also it shows scale that this thing is goddamn massive, man. It's massive.
Yeah, when you sent me those pictures, I was like, holy cow, that thing's freaking huge, man.
Yeah. it's just and
Yeah, if she's watching, lean into the she is pretty part, man. Don't just it's not an afterthought. Like
Love
she's
you.
real beautiful. So there you go. There you go. Perfect.
Probably is.
This is my favorite guy.
She's a huge supporter. She's a huge,
No, that's
huge
cool.
supporter of this.
And I always like to ask that question, like, what's your support like? So that's awesome, man.
Oh my God, she's such a supporter. She's so into it, and she's into the arts, and she sees this as artwork, which I guess it is.
It is, man.
It totally is.
But she sees this as art, and she wants me to do some abstract cardboard artwork for him. Like, I don't know how. I can copy it if you show it to me, but I can't do abstract. I don't understand abstract. My brain doesn't think that way. I'm more.
You're trying to tool stuff.
Yeah, I'm more autistic. I'm more like, it's got to be normal. It's got to be symmetrical.
Oh,
yeah, you're an engineer, man.
Lord of Thane's hanging in there. It's 3 a.m.
Angus, go to bed.
Where's he at?
He's in
Germany.
No sprechen Sie Deutsch.
There you go.
9.
Starboy.
A little bit of Southern accent. Man, that is so bizarre because
He's
It's
back
Ohio, bro. It's not
I'm
your
in
fault.
the Union, man. I'm in the Union, not the Confederacy. It's just, if you just cross the river, they say like, y'all want some sweet tea with that? How y'all
I
doing?
know, man. I've been to Ohio.
It's not not the cities, not Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati. Maybe Dayton.
You're saying that Starboy's agreeing with me. I don't know, man.
I've heard that, but I don't know, man. I know so many country people because it's right across the river. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't insult me. I'm not insulted, but I just
you can hear a little hint. It's different than mine. That's all.
I don't say paint.
Let it go.
Oh, y'all.
Y'all come back now to Cincinnati.
I like going to the South actually because they do say like, y'all, how y'all doing? I love it. I think it's great.
You feel like you're at home, right? You know.
Yeah, they're friendly.
Well, they're all real friendly. Like
it's like 9:30, man. I'm gonna hop off here. I had a great time, man. Thanks.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you bringing me on, man. It's great to see all your faces and meet you.
Likewise.
Thanks for coming on, and yeah, thanks to everybody that came out in the chat. But yeah, we're gonna call it there. This one went over, but with good cause. Go check out Christopher George 1987 on Instagram, and he has a Facebook or a YouTube page that he doesn't want anybody to look at.
No, you can.
But go check him out on both platforms. I'll put the link in the video after the show. Thanks to Pirates for popping in, and always thanks to Wentzilla for being the co-host tonight. We will come back at you next Friday, but we do have a bonus show coming up Sunday, which I will post tomorrow. So everybody take it easy, and see you later.